Okay, we're back. Sorry for that, people. My internet had, my laptop had died, so we're back. So back to raspberries, I guess. So it's only gonna be solving, not much talking at all. So yeah, array of integers a1 till an. Okay, and we also get a number k, which is from 2 to 5 inclusive. Then one operation I can choose an index, and one operation you can do the following. Okay, in one operation I can do this. I can choose one I and set Discord. Yeah, we don't need Discord. So then set a of I is equal to a of I plus 1. Okay, so basically I can increment. So find the minimum number of operations needed to make the product of all numbers in the array divisible by k. Okay, interesting. And the minimum number of operations needed to make the are these notifications? Just mute that. Yeah, and then okay, run the array. Okay, so I don't have to use long over here, but I don't know. I might have to just in case. It is a C problem after all. You can't really trust them. So first test cases 2, 5 is our n and k. 7 and 3 is our thing. So minimum output we got is our output is 2. Next cases. In the first test case we need to choose the index I twice. After that array. Right, of course, the product of all numbers in the array is 35. The fourth test case, the product of the numbers in the array is 120. It's already divisible. Right? The fourth test case, okay. The eighth test case, 3, 4, and 159. Okay. 1 into 5, which is 5, and then 5 tens are. And you can only increment, you cannot decrement. So, what can you do? By choosing I is equal to 2 and I is equal to 3 in any order after that. 6 and 10, and what if I just make this thing 2? So it becomes 2 into 5, which is 10, 10 into 9, which is 40. So yeah, that is still not divisible by 4. Okay, nice. Okay, this is the problem. K will be anything between 2 and 5. K belongs to 2, 5. Our array, any range there? Okay. Okay, so A of I can only be 1 till 10 inclusive. Any other inclusives they have given? Okay, T comes under 10 power 4. So 10 power 4 and 10 power 5. So 10 power 9 relatively. So even in an O of n should be O of n linear. What else? What other hints have they given here? Yeah, y is equal to fi plus 1. Chat. The shout out please. थोड़ा वॉइस इंक्रीज ये क्या है तो you have come different accounts. Okay, मैं क्या करता हूँ, I'll wear my earphones 1 second. वॉल्यूम अच्छे से आता है उसमें. मेरे ईयरफोन्स किधर दिया? अभी सुनाई दे रहा? अभी बेटर. I hope it's better now. अमरनाथ. Wait. अभी कैसा है? पता नहीं, अभी भी I guess it's little only. हाँ, ये प्रॉब्लम रहे. way of I हमको पता है, just between this. Or I know that I have to use dynamic programming or and math over here. Okay. So dynamic programming, first thing what you will want to, will first want your overlapping subproblems, overlapping substructures, and then a DP state. And then what would you want? Um, your DP expression. Next, next what would you want? Your DP expression, then probably just verify if it's correct or not, and then optimize for space. Right. Probably. हाँ, पहले से अच्छा. Okay. Yeah. Nice man. तो भी करो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग, और हम भी करते हैं इस साइड पर. सब सॉल्व ही कर रहे हैं. प्रोडक्ट बैच लोग के लिए टेस्ट है और हम सिर्फ ऐसे बैठे हुए हैं. इट्स ओके, सॉल्व करते हैं चलो. तो ओवरलैपिंग सबस्ट्रक्चर्स, ओवरलैपिंग सब प्रॉब्लम्स मेरे को चाहिए. नहीं चाहिए रे तेरा. अरे ये ट्रांसफर हो रहा है. ओके चलो. given an array of integer of only 1 to 10 and मेरे को k तक आना है. ओके. तो मैथमेटिकली ये सब कैसे पॉसिबल है? Okay, so mathematically I can take x1 into x2 into x3 into x4 into so on till xn, and this thing percentile k is equal to 0. That's what I want. And I can make changes in anything within, like, what the x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, so on xn, percentile k is equal to 0. I can make changes into any of the xi. But is this correct though? Percentile k is what I want. So what I want is product of all of them divisible by k. So yeah, basically percentile k is equal to 0 is what I want. और क्या कर सकता हूँ मैं? Any other expressions can I get from this? X1, x2, x3, x4, x so on. Yeah, simple example x1, x2, x3. Product. Well, brute force में हम कैसे कर सकते हैं उसको? The dynamic programming here, so it's definitely there's a recursion also in this problem. So in a recursive state, how can I solve it? So recursively, I can just pick the first element, increment it, increment the first element to be a multiple of k, and yeah, that's all. Increment it so that it becomes a multiple of k. Then what? And then check the answer product के साथ. The minimum number of operations needed to make it divisible by k. Okay. Well, optimally, or just if there wasn't a condition to find the minimum number of operations, I would just make every single element just divisible by k, and that would be our answer. But since I cannot make every single element divisible by k, I only need to make, how many do I need to make so that the entire product I know is a product is divisible by k. So okay, let's take a sample test case. What test case can I take? Oh, 4 ఉంది కదా. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12th test case. K is equal to 5 and 1 comma 6. Okay. So only way I can make this work is convert 6 to 10, or 5 6 are 30, or I can make 1 into 4. Correct. So taking the bigger number would make sense, or would taking the smaller number make sense? Let's see. So 8993. Can I apply like sorting here? Sort कर सकता हूँ क्या? 2 into 10 power 5. So log n. I cannot sort. So using a maximum element is probably not the answer. 8993, or say k is equal to 5. 8993. So 9 into 9, 81 into 3, which is, okay, 27 into 9 8 are 72, so 72 into this, 14, 5. 544, which is not divisible by 5. So for 11, if I just increment 9 to 10, I would have 30 into 9 into 8. So 9 is a 72, so 72 into 30, which will give me 6, 0, 21. And this is divisible by k. 11th में क्या हो गया 1 2 8 15 right 11. So one operation first. Let's go फिर हमारे अरे अरे prime factorization plus greedy कर सकते हैं ये greedy yeah I shouldn't ask AI until अरे 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 relax guys okay well answers तो मत दो रे chat में it's supposed to be me so solving आज तो तुम लोग हो, पर कल तो नहीं आ सकते हो ना तो I'll have to figure this out. What if I saw this problem, like similar problem in lead code, I think. 6 into 3, wait, I think I might know how to solve this. So 6 into 3, I'll just have this here 18, and I'll have 36 here, and I'll have 18 again here, 0, 1, 2 again, and 4 right. Uh, Yeah, 4 के लिए for sixth test case it's 0 right 1 2 3 4 3 4 yeah okay so you pre-compute the what is that the products of the entire thing and then what can I do I can just mm, yeah before I like go by longer it was 3 and then the last one 3 and last one 12 1 and 6 so I'll have 6 here, another 1 here. But still, how would I do this? Not doing it. How long has it been since I'm solving this? It's been 30 minutes of struggling yet because that's like the sweet spot I want to hit, like 30 minutes of solving. No, it's been 20 minutes since I'm stuck in this. Okay, that's okay. 10 more minutes of trying to generate a valid solution for this. Let's go. Okay, so I make a DP table now. DP state. Number of operations. Okay, so this is kind of like dynamic programming. At minimum number of operations. Is it like wait, is it like Kadani's algorithm? Mm, yeah, five, eight, one, two, yeah, two plus P of I minus pi maybe. And then, so the output doesn't really cross 5 is what I'm seeing. It's just values of the previous thing. Uh, not getting this, how in any way that I'll be able to solve this. So, let's try to. It's been like 30 minutes of me just being stuck, so I'll open the editorial because I've tried to generate to the best of my capabilities. Your code sources. Okay, let's represent our pin coda. Okay, wait, C, right? Raspberries, right? So let's notice that k is equal to 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, even 4 comes, but okay. I guess you're counting that and 2 itself. Since these are prime numbers, the product of the numbers will be divisible by k. Okay. Since these are prime numbers, the product of these numbers will be divisible by k. If any number in the array is divisible by k, then we can conclude that it is advantageous to perform operations only on one number. The product of the numbers will be divisible by k. Any number in the array is divisible by k. From this, we can conclude that it is advantageous to perform operations only on one number. Okay. If k is equal to 4, we have several cases and we need to take the minimum among them. Again, we can perform operations on one number and make it divisible by 4, or we can perform operations such that there are two even numbers in the array. There's a special case when n is equal to 1 to have two numbers, to have two even numbers. Let's count the number of even numbers in the original array. There is a special case when n is equal to 1. Okay. Let's count the number of even numbers in the original array as count, and if 2 is less than or equal to n, if n is greater than or equal to 2, we can say that the answer is max of 0, comma 2 minus count. Okay, so this was in no way like dynamic programming, I can say. That's for sure. Yeah, so that is the solution. That was the editorial. Let me just look at it once again. Okay. So what he said is, for k when it belongs to 2 comma 5, it's only prime numbers excluding 4. So if the product of our array is divisible by k, then that means there is a prime number somewhere inside. So that's better. It's advantageous to only increment 1 during that scenario. Then I also did notice when k is equal to 4, the test case gets a little bit tricky. K is equal to 4, 4, 5, 4. The fifth test case, if we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This whole last thing we have to do. 2, 5, and 7, 3. So Okay, so except for 4, this solution should be working pretty good for most of the solutions. Like most of the test cases, this should work except for 2. Is what? Okay, right, of course. Happens. Okay, so 2, 2, 1, 0, 2. Okay, so here is 3. Y3, which test case? 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth test case. Fifth test case, yeah, 4. So fourth is the special case where you will have to do a little special arrangements, but I didn't really get that point here. If k is equal to 4, we need to take minimum. We have several cases and we need to take minimum among them. Again, we can perform operations on one number, make it divisible by 4, or we need to perform operations as if there are two even numbers in the array. There's a special case when n is equal to 1. To have two even numbers, let's count the number of even numbers in the original array as count. And if n is greater than equal to n, we can say that the answer is this. Really, man. Okay. So I can just have this if n is equal to 4. Okay. Let's count. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6. Last sixth. 3, 5, 3, comma 4. Of course. Of course, it's the fourth test case. Why are you hunting me? A is equal to 4 and n greater than 1. So you will see out this. So it's passing everywhere. As long as I'm able to see, it's passing almost everywhere. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 5, 2, 6, 0, 7, 1, 2, 2 के बाद 0. Okay. So this eighth case. more 4, 159. So this 2 I'm supposed to get. Oh, this 2 also I'm getting right. Okay, 2 के बाद का number, okay. 2 के बाद I'm supposed to get 1. I'm supposed to get 0, I'm getting 1. Right. Yeah, why is it? Okay, of course, of course. Why did I have to overcomplicate this? Okay. If a of I is equal to k directly and then just see out 0, and I can just return that. Okay. Yeah, hold on. 2 2 1 0 2 0 1 2 0 2 0 2 2 0 1 1 4 0 4 3. Okay. So 201 I'm supposed to get 202. What test case is this? 201 I'm getting. 202 I'm getting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th test case. So 3 into 5 into 3, which is 45. 3 5s are 15, 15 3s are, of course it's 45. So plus 1. Hmm. Okay. Right. But how is this dynamic programming? depends on all numbers. Okay. Suppose k is equal to 2, and if any number becomes even, the whole product becomes divisible by 2. So you don't need to modify every one. Okay. So k is equal to 3, same question. If one number becomes divisible by 3, what happens? I think what happens is I need to make um, one element divisible by 3, and that way the whole product becomes divisible by 3. So now comes the only interesting case. So which value of k is actually difficult? There are only two, so 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one cannot be solved by make? Okay, wait. Which is actually difficult? There are only 2, 3, 4, 5, which cannot be make one number divisible. Think carefully. Well, since I've already seen the editorial, but thinking of it logically also, 2, 3, 4, 5, which one will be harder for me to make actually, it's probably 4, because 4 is basically 2 times 2. So I would need to make a number not only divisible by 2, I would also need it to be divisible 2. Considering the first 5 numbers, what have I already achieved? So what have you achieved? Not the product itself, far from. Instead, number of 2's collected.